Hello, my name is Kumar Wise, and in today's presentation, I'll be explaining progressive law and its future in the American legal system. Whether you aspire to have a career in the legal realm or not, this information will be extremely relevant to you as a citizen living under our legal system. You may be asking, what is progressivism and why does this matter to me, or why should I care? The answer to that is that progressivism in the legal field could improve how legislation currently is in our legal system. This is the legal system that you and your future generations will have to live through. With Roe v. Wade being overturned less than 3 months ago, there is no better time than now to make efforts to further progress the state of legislation rather than being retroactive in creating and interpreting laws. Before proceeding with this presentation, some questions that will be addressed will be the following. What is progressive law? What does it look like? And how can it be achieved? And also, why is it crucial for it to be incorporated in our legal system? Not only do I feel like these questions need to be answered in order for the audience to understand the topic, but these questions also allow the inclusion of real-world situations like Roe v. Wade example. Addressing these questions will be a perfect bridge to apply the progressive legal thought to modern issues. The first and more important questions that must be answered when looking into the future of a progressive legal system is, what is progressive law? In short, progressive law is having your beliefs and practices align with the ever-developing society that we live in. Erwin Chemerinsky, a professor from UC Berkeley in ACS Law, describes the concept perfectly, as he states that the progressive vision shows that the constitutional law is about applying the values of the Constitution to its current problems. The law and precedents that were set in place in the past should be applied to what's going on in today's society. Society is forever changing, which means that the legal system and its legislation should adapt. If precedents do not align with what's going on today, then something should change with the precedent. When it comes to interpreting issues in cases dealing with controversial topics such as same-sex marriage, it is wrong for court justices to make these decisions without making value judgments for their own interest. Chemerinsky suggests that justices' vague terms only reflect what their values are and their interest in a case. An example of this is using terms such as legitimate government purpose when deciding among same-sex marriages in past cases. To achieve a more progressive legal system in today's society, the right people must be enacted as judges on the federal level. Many conservative interests from justice hinder progression in the legal system by improperly interpreting laws and cases for today's society. It is not a myth that personal values come into play for judgments. According to the Wall Street Journal, over 130 federal judges have violated United States laws by overseeing cases in which they had personal or financial interest in. The legal system has been interwoven with corruption for decades because of instances like this. There have been extensive research that has gone into examining the relationships between judges' political ideologies and their decisions going into cases. Dyson Segal and H.J. Spaeth are two notable people who have conducted this research. According to Rachel Khalil O'Callaghan, author of The Influence of Personal Values on Legal Judgments, stated, Segal and Spaeth have conducted several studies either independently or together examining the influence of judicial political attitudes defined as instrumental, change-oriented policy preferences on the ways of justices' votes in the United States Supreme Court. The author identified that justices who espouse liberal policy positions are more likely to favor criminally accused and civil liberty rights complaints and oppose the government in due process and private litigations. Furthermore, Segal and Cover could effectively predict an individual's decisions on civil liberty and economic cases based on the Supreme Court justices' ideological positions. With many judges basing their decisions on personal political views, it strays away from how the law is supposed to be decided and flaws the legal system. For our legal system to improve, we need to enact judges who can apply laws in today's context rather than those who can choose to uphold a conservative way of thinking. Regarding why it's important to include progressive law in our current legal system, it is not a matter of trying to make our legal system more liberal, but it is about trying to stay consistent with the current times we live in. Rosemary Nagy, in her segment Transitional Justice as a Global Project, explains the importance as well as describes transitional justice's purpose in the legal system as to address wrongdoings of past decisions that currently shape today's society. The implementation of transitional justice in our legal system could be an adequate way to prevent social and individual harm to society. To further improve legal systems of transitional justice, our approach to inequality must be broadened and must abandon a one-size-fits-all approach in order to hear out and accommodate to all citizens within the country. As stated before, it is not a matter of being more liberal, but just being consistent with the times that we currently live in.